all the things to work. It doesn't work. So we're going to skip along. I've got Ernie Hatmaker over here. Hatmaker. How do you say that?
Happening.
Okay. I misspelled it when I wrote it down because I knew a person named Hatmaker. And I guess my brain just short circuited when I was writing it. It was like, ticka, 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 hey. You know how it goes.
I was
So,
called Linda Hathaway, so I think what you did was a lot better.
oh, yeah. Well, it wasn't intentional. We got Captain Caveman in here. Captain Caveman. You got your son around with you? And son. Um, hey, Mama Gnome. Welcome to the show. Nude Guru. We got everybody in here. That's cool. That's all we need, right? All right, so this is a total disaster stream. We're going to do some really intense, cringy things that Sasquatch does, like talk to himself while he fiddles with things and tries to get things straight. Okay, so your channel is sort of a weird, middle of the road lifestyle slash gardening slash moderate prepper vibe, kind of more self sustaining.
Like that. I don't really have a niche. I'm just me, and I'm doing me and sharing it with
Right.
whoever. You know.
It's pretty glorious, I got to tell you. As far as the YouTube grind is concerned, you've got it hammered down. Uh, you have regularly created content for almost going on 3 years now, with a few hiccups here and there where obviously you were busy or whatever. I mean, it happens to all of us. I just took a 2 week vacation because I was agitated. So,
Well, I took a 2 week vacation too, but it's because the last Windows update I got erased everything.
well, we don't let that stop us around here. When things break, we just roll through it and pretend it didn't.
That's pretty much what happened.
Y'all are lucky I wasn't in here humming my theme song. I might. Oh Lord. So I got a couple of videos that I was gonna do in order, and since none of my triggers over here are gonna actually work, because I can make sounds. Let's see. Can anybody hear this thing at all?
Steering your Sam's
In chat?
long hairs finally
Nothing. Nobody hears anything. That is the strangest thing. It's going. I can hear it. It's loud as crap to me. It's coming out of my freaking computer. It's coming out of my TV over here. It's not coming out for YouTube or for you. I don't. You got me. You got me. Anyway.
A heavy breather with intestinal woes.
That might be me, actually. Sorry. That could just be the microphone. Yeah, I had a burrito. There's a couple of old shrimp in it. I didn't pick them out because it was a perfectly good trash can I took it out of. But seriously, all right. So you have this one video over here that I really dig. I watched it like 3 times because not that one. Not that one. This is the one. I love it. So, you do giveaways, gardening, some reviews.
Yeah, the reviews are usually because, I bought it and I thought that other people might be interested in it.
Yeah, makes sense. I've got a hot tub I still haven't reviewed. What's the most important thing for a consistent gardening plan?
Consistency. Getting up and actually uploading stuff, even if it's just with your little phone. You don't have to have anything, expensive, or even a little flip phone that has a camera. Get out there and show people what you're doing. Everybody's doing the same thing, but you've got your own flavor because you're doing it for yourself.
That's my most important advice I give to absolutely everyone. Figure out what it is that you love to do. It doesn't matter if it's job related or if it's what do you love to do. Go film yourself doing it. And the passion you have for it will come through in the work.
Yeah, if you don't enjoy it, people can kind of see that I'm just doing this for the views. This even sounds scripted. People respond, I think, more when you're actually you and you're enjoying being you and showing what you like to do.
Right. I agree. Um, being original is not quite as necessary as being genuine because if you're doing exactly the same content someone else is doing, that's not original, but it can be genuine.
Yeah,
You can all grow tomato plants of the same type and compare your results at the end of the growing cycle. You can all grow the same broccoli in the beginning and compare your results. You already know it's not going to be fair because some of you will be in northern climates, some of you will be in
yeah.
southern climates, and so it won't even be remotely fair, but it's still fun, right? Which one is
We
this?
watch other people who do what we do. Most of the time with me, I'm not watching because, you're doing what I do and you might be having the same problems I'm having and I want to see what you're doing. I'm watching you because I've connected with you on some level and I want to keep connecting with you.
That makes sense. And that's another thing. It's really important to interact with the people that comment on your videos. It doesn't have to be much. You don't have to take any more interest than the fact that they did comment on a video.
Yeah,
To some people, it can mean the world. It can mean the difference between a good day and a bad day because they're like, wow, that guy actually responded.
right.
So, okay, not to dox yourself, but in what general area are you? It looks fairly tropical over there. Or is that just your green thumb working?
It's very jungly out there because we're in the middle of nowhere. I'm in northeastern Arkansas, about 45 minutes west of Memphis, Tennessee, just
Yeah.
right across the bridge, Mississippi River Bridge, and then I'm about I don't know maybe 80 miles from Little Rock. I mean we're
Oh, there
really
you go.
nowhere. It's like the outskirts of the outskirts of the outskirts of a
Well,
town.
it is flat as a freaking pan over here. Like you could set a
No,
level on that. There ain't a hill nowhere, all the way to the horizon. I'm pretty sure that bump over there's a bush. There's nothing going on out there.
it's just some really pretty bushy area. What it is somebody across the street used to have a mobile home and they moved and all that stuff grew up. That's a mobile home.
Oh wow. Okay. Are your reviews, are they product reviews, seed reviews? Or are you doing like fertilizer reviews and
Product
stuff?
reviews. I don't really do plant kind of stuff. They're usually things that we do in our house or maybe we bought for camping or off grid kind of stuff that other people might be interested in.
All
Sometimes
right.
stuff is featured on my husband's channel, but usually, since I'm the one that's more consistent between the two of us, then it goes on mine.
Right. Huh. All right, we got a few folks in here. We got Captain Caveman, the seventh son. It's good to see both of y'all. Graham B Transparency. That actually rhymes pretty good. I like it. It rolls off the tongue well. It's too long for a channel name, but at the same time, it does roll off the tongue well, so it can be as long as it wants to be. Right. And Squirrel Sniper. I still haven't figured out whether he's a squirrel that's a sniper or a sniper that's a squirrel, or is he a squirrel or is he a sniper sniping squirrels? I don't know. It boggles me. The names you find people using on YouTube. This is coming from a Caucasian Sasquatch, so there's that.
Those are
Right.
memorable names, which is also something that you ought to have if you're going to separate yourself. There's actually some channels out there that are called My Tiny Garden. Nothing against My Tiny Garden, but there's like 5 million of them.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. You have to set yourself apart
Figure
somehow.
out which one is the one that I'm supposed to be. Yeah.
And you can't always trust YouTube to let you know which one you did like.
That is true.
When you watch one gardening channel, the next thing you know, you've got 750 My Tiny Gardens over there.
That is
It's
correct.
Julie with My Tiny Garden.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there's another niche that has the same effect on the algorithm. If you go watch one tiny house video, you will be inundated by people living in shoe boxes.
Yes. Yes.
And it'll take you a week or two to stop seeing them after you stop watching them. And that is absolutely buggy to me. Why would you do that to your patrons? You know. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a puppy, a tiny house, and go on a road trip. That's the YouTube trifecta. By the end of the week, I ought to have 2 million subs. Right?
Well,
I mean, if
you're also going to have to do that famous video, how to pee and poop in your car. That's where all your views are going to come.
no, I'll let my dog handle that. Right? And I'll show how to clean up pee and poop from a car. Much more useful. We go with pragmatism here at the Sasquatch show. That's what we do. We try to be as pragmatic as possible. Okay, so I've got another little video lined up. I think this is actually your channel intro video thing, right? Where like, let's see. Where's my right button? Yeah, welcome to my channel. So this is going to kind of just do the thing you made it to do, right?
It shows who we are. I mean, Ed and I, that's how we interact with each other.
What I love about this is it's the rest of the channel as your intro. The parts nobody sees is your actual introduction to the channel. That's brilliant.
You know, he's
That's brilliant. I love it.
Facebook profile.
I'm sorry, what?
He took that hat wig and he wore that as his Facebook profile picture after I did that YouTube video.
That's brilliant. That's good stuff. Hello, the smoking auditor. Greetings from Georgia, Mr. High from Ohio. How high is Ohio? I thought it was short on both ends and short in the middle. It's just flat. It's Ohio. I mean, even the river's in a high spot. I don't know. Last time I went through Ohio, I saw nothing but corn. And it was only about this much of it. So it was like corn. You just left Ohio. Fucking, it's just fucking corn. Like, where did I? Okay. All right, fine. You know, I'll keep driving. We're going places. Okay, so you do a few shorts here and there. Are they intentionally filmed, or do you go like get them out of the other content you make and find good, those things?
I take my phone some days, and it's the intention of just making a short.
Right.
Mainly because after you've done like 2 garden tours in a row, everybody's already seen basically what's happening overall, and they've taken 3, 4, 5, 7 minutes or whatever to watch this stuff. Then a 30-second clip, just to kind of like still connect with people and show like maybe something nuanced that they haven't seen yet. A flower, that may not have grown during the last recording because that might have happened last week. So that's kind of how I do the shorts. Yeah, they're intentionally short.
Okay. Well, a lot of people like take Captain Curmudgeon, for instance. I've got one of his videos lined up over here to play. But he does these like scripted readings, I guess, performances almost.
Yeah,
and they're hilarious.
When I said the script, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you do script things. All right. I don't script anything ever.
Well,
If I'm
things that look scripted, you got me doing ebonics over here.
It's okay. We speak most languages badly. He anyway, he does readings from a script where he scripts it. Apparently, he mumbles over it once or twice, and then he just does it, and it's absolutely amazing. On the other hand, the way I do things is I just kind of throw myself in the mud pit and see if I can shake it off because I don't know any other way to do it. You either sink or swim. You either fake it or make it, right? And as long as you're faking it and nobody knows you're not making it, nobody knows the difference. You just pretend that it's working out just the way you planned, right?
Well, I don't do that, but you must do it pretty well.
Obviously. They're all absolutely convinced. Right?
They've worked before.
Well, no, I don't think I'm blowing any covers here. I mean, my technical issues have been well known and documented throughout my career. In fact, they're some of my best episodes and shows. Seriously. I don't know why that is. I think people just like to see me stress out. They just enjoy it. I don't know why.
Really well under pressure.
Oh, yes. I'm certainly excellent under pressure. I'm that guy in like middle school when the book report was due that morning. I'd go, oh shit, I got a book report. Let's see, what do I remember?
Okay, I might be like that too. I don't really want to be all the way like you. Maybe the technical genius part I could do, but
It's not genius. It's determination.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, no, I have done it so many ways wrong. I'm bound to get something right eventually. Just do it again. And when it doesn't work, do it again and do it a different way. It's the same with gardening, with prepping, with anything else. Carpentry. You try to build a thing, it falls down. You do it a different way next time. You found one way not to build a wall. It's not faking it. That's selling it short. In reality, it's building your skill set, your character, your ability to take a loss and continue moving on. A couple of years ago, I had a garden. I planted it. It was beautiful up until about, June 4th. And then it was like some evil magic spell fell on my garden and everything fell down from right to left just in a drop. All my tomatoes got wiped out by wilt. Some weird fungus got on all my peppers. I lost absolutely everything except for my red okra. So I told everybody I had a great crop of okra. I never mentioned that entire garden that disappeared. I just didn't say that about it. You know. And you can't get depressed because something you tried failed.
Right.
There are things outside of your control. You can't control it. You can only do the best you can with what you have at hand. So, and I repeat, that's true with every facet of life. If you're trying to quit dope and you fail, try again. Failure is not a bad thing unless you are an expert at it and fail. That might be a problem.
That's why I tell people not to give up on YouTube, because I've had videos that I recorded that I thought, oh, this is the best ever. This is certainly going to get people's attention. And like 22 people watch it. And then it's just like some accidental freak of nature that I just happened to record that was just totally boring to me. But
right, and you're like, it's something to load up.
Yeah. And
30,000 views.
It blows up. It's unreal how that works. So
I did jokes.
It's not really failure.
I did jokes, and I was always very intrigued by the fact that the quality of the joke did not seem to matter. The joke didn't have to be funny. One of my best performing jokes is, if you can believe it, what can jump higher than a house? Yeah. No, it's what animal can jump higher than a house?
I'm not going there.
Any animal can jump higher than a house because houses don't jump.
Okay.
It's a dumb joke. It's horrible. And for some weird unknown reason, it's got like, I don't know, 2,000-3,000 views just over there. I've got other jokes that are like really hilarious that are like 50 views that are hilarious. Yeah, they're offensive. So YouTube pulls them.
Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason to it. I had a buddy of mine who was doing like a cucumber thing, and he had like lined up his cucumbers from tall to small, basically, and was
I was glad
explaining
that
the.
you cleared that up when you said he was doing a cucumber thing, and I was like, oh, that could
Well,
go.
I mean, he was explaining the different kinds of cucumbers
Got it. Okay.
during the video. uh, One of the cucumbers got turned up sideways on one of the others. He was like talking and he set it down and didn't set it down straight and it kind of laid at an angle. And then when he moved the camera, it looked just like what you're thinking. And he catches a strike. It was a garden video with nothing but fruit in it. And it was a totally absent-minded thing. You see him like, oh, I need to set that down and move this a little bit, and then he sits there and talks. And where he's at, it's fine. From that angle, well, it was a little suggestive,
Okay.
but it's still fruit. That does not change it. It wasn't intentionally done. You could make the argument that it's art. Mm.
That's like one of my masturbating parrot videos. I mean, the bird's hormonal. It's a science thing in the
Hmm.
bird world, but
Right.
there were pornography strikes on it, and then I had to appeal it to show the scientific value in it, and then they let it go through. But now I'm about to
Uh,
see what he does lately. So.
yeah.
And they're like, "Where's Jasper at?" Because he was, I mean, he was getting a lot of views from, every now and then he'll say a word or something like that. But people really like my Saturdays with the Senegal. But all he
Yeah.
does lately is masturbate. Nobody wants to. Well, okay, people do want to see that, but I get tired of watching it.
Your number one source for bird porn. All right, good to know. I had no idea. I've watched them. I don't know. Sometimes I might be watching two or three videos at a time because I'm planning on interviewing this person this week, that person the week after, and you know a lot of videos have a lot of similarities where they're just explaining the same thing that everyone else has explained that decided to do this, right? I don't have a problem with it. That's fine. But I've got 5 other shows I'm going to be doing next week. I got to see what they're saying too.
Yeah.
Hey, Danny Staten, good to see you, brother. Bernie, good to see you. Uh, how many subs do you have currently on YouTube?
I think I'm one away from 2,400.
Oh, that's sweet. I like that. I'm expecting your channel to catch a pretty good boost here in the next 2 or 3 months. There's a sort of critical mass people seem to reach when I don't know if there's something in the search algorithms or what, but after about 1,500 subs, it's like enough people know about you that other people find out about you. It's weird. Like Radical Reactor, he fought tooth and nail to get above 1,000. Then he quit, and his standing content was interesting enough that he picked up that other 1,000 without doing anything. When he came back, started making content, bam, he went to 12, 15,000 like 2 months, 3 months. Now you can't talk to him. His head too big.
Yeah.
No, I mean he's cool. He still hasn't done a face reveal.
Sometimes people just get to the point where I cannot personally respond anymore. I haven't gotten there yet because I mean I enjoy it to the point where I'll take YouTube Studio app to bed with me and still
Mm.
respond to people.
I kind of use it like a fidget spinner. I hate to be that way, but that's kind of how I use
though, right?
it. Only when people are calling and won't stop. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Whoa.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm a terrible person. I do apologize. Anyway, so it's gardening. Have you done any like traveling adventures at all?
Traveling. We've done YouTubers in the wild where we have like meetups with people. That's usually on my husband's channel, but I've done I think 2 of them. We just meet up with other YouTubers, especially if you're in an area that we go to frequently. We have a meetup every year in Georgia, and so
Really?
we go there.
Where
Yeah.
at?
Yeah. Last year it was in, I think it was just outside of Noonan last year, and the year before that it was in Warner Robins. Um,
Okay.
but I mean, we
All
like
right.
to keep in contact with people. We went to one in Oklahoma. We've gone to a couple in Tennessee because I mean, Memphis, Nashville, they're just right over the, for us. But
Yep.
yeah, I like to meet up with other
I do
people,
too.
more than 10
Uh,
other people.
I'm putting together a bit of a road trip concept show where it's going to be like Shills on Wheels or Rolling with Sasquatch or something along those lines. I don't know what it's going to be quite yet. Uh, I got my truck in the shop. I've got a mechanic on the line to come talk to me about my El Camino concept that I want to do. And if I can get both of those lined up, I'm going to buy me a camper and I'll come see all you crackers.
On the El
Every pardon?
in El Camino campus.
I have an El Camino.
I
A
know
night,
that. I asked if you're going to put the camper on the El Camino.
yeah, that's kind of my plan. I'm gonna put a camper shell, custom camper shell, because you can't find an El Camino camper to cop anywhere. So I'm gonna go to ARE and go get them to make me a little teardrop type camper shell to go up there,
Oh,
and then
that's
I'm gonna find me a pop up camper to drag with us. It's gonna be super cool. But paint everything bright yellow and black. It's gonna be freaking awesome. But right now it's a drag race car.
cool.
Right now it's built for drag racing, and I can't tow with that. Hell, I can't even drive that in town. It breaks noise ordinances and all kinds of other crazy stuff. If it rains, it just sits in a parking lot and turns around like this because the rear end doesn't have enough weight to push the 396 that's under the hood.
Wow.
I got stuck in a parking lot at Walmart just looking at a hill going, nope.
That would have been a great YouTube video.
That was back before I did YouTube.
Yeah.
It's not safe to drive. It doesn't like the gas here. There's all kinds of reason I don't drive it. Uh, I mean, you'd need $10 to put in the tank just to crank it up. The damn thing's a freaking race car. I had no business driving it back from Texas to begin with. Didn't know that at the time though. Hell, I crunk it up and drove it out the parking lot. That was good enough for me.
Mm.
And I bought it to do traveling to make it a road trip machine, but I ended up I thought I was getting a $2,000 engine, and I ended up with a $10,000 engine, and I went, I don't know what to do with this, so I've just been frozen with lack of decision for about 5 years. But now I know what to do. I'm going to sell the damn engine. I don't want it. I don't need it. I don't know. I'm going to go talk to the guy, and if he can make it do what I want it to do, we'll do it. But it has to do it efficiently.
So
You know,
then we should keep our eyes out for this yellow and black alien-looking El Camino
it's
with
gonna
the
be
bald head.
it's gonna be audacious. Definitely audacious. Yes, absolutely. I can't wait. It's gonna be great. But I'm going incognito in October. I'm gonna take my little Nissan truck and go see like ATL and maybe Fiona Rawls. I know a couple of other people in like South Carolina and North Georgia and stuff. There's two or three in North Georgia I want to go see. So there's going to be a little bit of that going on. And I'm going to try to set it up so that the October to about December trips are short, like over the weekend, 3 days tops.
Mm-hmm.
So I won't be going too terrible far. But it's mostly going to be like hotels and stuff. So maybe I'll do some reviews on that stuff. You know how that works. You
Well,
get
there's also a scale model convention that's going to be in Atlanta about that same time. You'll probably miss it because you'll be
oh,
out dropping somewhere.
shut your mouth. My wife loves miniatures. A scale model?
We're talking about cars and stuff, not stuff that a lot of women like that are miniatures.
Are they little?
There's a lot of people who do the tiny ones.
Okay. So is it like a diecast thing or a matchbox thing?
There's one or two people that had die-cast last year, but most of them are like styrene and the plastic stuff that you.
Oh, they're making their own. Oh,
But
that's
also
cool.
figurines and stuff like that. The really little tiny miniatures of, that require like 5,000 different like bifocals to be able to see yourself paint, that kind of stuff.
Right. Right. That's wild. I hadn't even thought about that. I ran across the channel a couple of days, actually a couple of weeks ago now. All he does is Matchbox cars. He works at some like hobby shop or something, and as far as I can tell, he only has one YouTube channel, and it's entirely devoted to where to get specific Matchbox vintages. So I hit him up. I'm like, "Can you find me a '69 El Camino?" He was like, "Nope, but I'll keep my eyes open." It's like, okay, because not only were there very few of them made, there was also almost no carryover into the toy market until much later. And I'd love to have me a '69 vintage Matchbox. That'd be cool. It would have been produced in like '71 or '72, somewhere around in there.
So we ought to be looking at like Barrett Jackson or Antique Roadshow.
Sort of. Yeah. No, you're not. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. That wouldn't be, or more likely at some freaking garage sale or pawn shop somewhere would be your best bet, honestly. Because I found a '68 Chevelle Matchbox in a box of toys at a pawn shop one time. It was an original. Uh,
The
it,
original 68,
they
like
were
when it was made in 68.
Yes, they were sold with the Chevelle line with the SS logos and everything on it. And as far as I know, the only way to get that particular toy was to have bought one of those Chevelles because it was in the glove box when you bought the car. Your kid got a toy,
Interesting.
uh,
We just
and
need
it
to
was
find somebody who collects the big Chevelles, and then we can all, it's enough of us in the chat right now to take whoever it is. We can just take that person and get the car, and then we can look in the glove box and see if do it. Oh.
that is called assault. We have laws against such things, unfortunately. Because I do like those cars. There's a reason I got a '69. It's the only Chevelle. It's the Chevellest El Camino there is. The other ones were Camaro-ish or Capri-ish, but the '69 Chevelle El Camino is more Chevelle than it is anything else, and it looks fantastic. I'm missing one major component, one major part. On the on like the '70s and the '68s, they had like the one headlight on each side. Mine's got the double headlights and two little plastic pieces on the outside of where the headlights are. I'm missing one of them, and I have bought 10 trying to get the right one for that car, and I always end up with a 70, a 68, a 71, or a 67. And the 67 one is totally different. It's like this little thing like that, but I got them in my closet. I got a whole stack of them. Trying to get this one thing, and it's absolutely bonkers.
So we need to
Hello,
get
my
a
love.
3D printer.
Thank you. My wife has returned with all the things and the secret weapon.
Red Bull.
It gives you hives.
You ought to marry her. Don't lose her.
She is my wife, Squatch. Let me tell you how much she's gone in for my channel. She's always been a bit of a gamer, and I'm not. I mean, I game, but it's not like a gamer. I'm not a gamer. But I needed some content from various games to do some of the audiobooks that I was doing. And I wanted some cover footage that suited the audiobooks that I was editing together. And so I got her to play Stranded Deep to Robinson Crusoe. And I used her footage of Ark on At the Earth's Core. So you got to see dinosaurs running around while hearing about him being chased around by dinosaurs. It worked pretty well. Do you game at all?
No, but I
No?
watch other people do it, and I do it without having to stab ice picks into my eyes.
Ah, there you go. No one wants that, I'm
Like
sure.
the gaming channels that I'm subscribed to, I don't watch the games. I do play them on my watch later list. I just click play and then I never look at it. And then
That's so
once
sweet.
the red line goes through, I delete it. But yeah, I don't watch the gameplay.
Okay. What I was looking for was something more interesting than a photograph to look at while listening to an audiobook. And I went in and I balanced all the sound out. I went and got it from LibriVox. It's public domain stuff. It was just me practicing editing and whatnot. But the effect was pretty cool, and I kind of dug it. And it seemed to be pretty popular, and then died. Really weird. Maybe it's because I stopped doing it.
Mm.
Hmm. Probably, huh? Hmm.
It's usually the way it works.
All right. So you do these meetups. How often do they happen? Once a year? Twice a year?
The ones like I was just telling you about, they're actually like planned in advance, and those are like once a year. But then we also do impromptu stuff because people are always traveling, and we're always traveling, and so we always say, okay, now who's in this area, who's in that area. I've got like 7 or 8 states that I have saved in my channels list. If you do the drop down on my home screen or whatever, you'll see I've got like Arkansas, I've got Texas, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Missouri, places like that because I'm going through them regularly and I see, okay, who's here, who's here, who's here. And not only, is that so I can find people to go
Well, I'm
visit.
down around Georgia, down around Milledgeville specifically.
I remember.
Basically, when you get to Milledgeville, go downhill a little ways, and when you get to the steaming pile of shit, that's my town. Just follow the river. You can't miss it.
Yeah, Milledgeville got a bad rap because of Honey Boo Boo.
Oh no, Milledgeville deserves exactly the rap it's got.
But they have the cemetery now. They've got the cemetery.
Well, that's just because people keep dying. That is part of that rap we were talking about. Look, Milledgeville used to have this insane asylum. It was the state hospital prison for the criminally insane or something like that. And the joke is that Milledgeville is so strange in comparison to the rest of Georgia because the people who are kept in the institute have family, and all their families moved there to be near them. And so there's this breeding ground of nuts over there in Milledgeville. Do not go to Milledgeville drinking, thinking you're going to have you a big old time and start some shit and get out of there okay. They will fucking cut you. All of them. Even the little old ladies are armed. They're crazy and armed. Just fair warning to anybody happens through Georgia and comes across Milledgeville. There is an entire genre of music dedicated to people staying away from Milledgeville. Just don't go there. Don't play there. Just, it's bad. It's not a great place. It's a nice town. But once the sun goes down, roll out. Ooh. So, what are your future plans for your channel? How are you just gonna keep plugging away at it like you've been doing?
I'm actually doing more giveaways now. I also sneak into people's Amazon wish list or Walmart wish list, and I buy them stuff off of that, and I send it anonymously. Because it's not like I want attention for my channel, but I
Right.
like to bless people and give people some of the stuff that they want. It makes
It's
people.
like reverse stalking.
It kind of is.
I didn't. You're
Because
not
I don't
sneaking.
just look at their wish list and go, what can I get this? And I'm like, what is it they're really wanting? Do they really want? Who are they wanting to spend 230? No, I do that too. But I buy, whatever it is that I had a set amount in my head that I wanted to spend on a channel, then I'll buy that for people. That's why, I don't know. That's why I told people to put their wish list in their profiles because I really do want to help people out and give people what they want.
That's sweet. That is probably one of the. It's like Secret Santa year round or something. That is unbelievably darling.
Well, speaking of I wanted to do one on this channel, not in the live stream, but if you put your, comment or whatever in the comment section
Yeah,
after the chat
I'll
bubble.
pin it.
Yeah, I
I'll,
want to do a couple of Amazon $25 gift cards
okay. Well, usually the way I handle my comment
with the URL.
is usually I'll put your, if you've got any like donation, merch, associated links, whatever, and I'll pin that in the comments. But you can pin whatever you like in the comments. I mean, it's just you come put it in there. You're modded, so you'll be able to do it, and I'll pin it.
I don't have any links. I don't have any search sites or anything like that. No buy me a coffees or anything like that. It's not that I don't want people to bless me. I do have a Cash App. I had to create one because somebody created one with my name, and
Right.
they were going around asking people for donations for giveaways, and I don't do that. So I had to create a Cash App to show people what my Cash App is. So
Yeah. That
yeah.
makes sense. That's really the only reason I've been thinking about it. I was thinking maybe getting a Cash App, something like keepyourmoneychump.com or um, stop simping.
Sounds like you though. That sounds like you.
PayPal me at stop simping now. So I don't know, something like that. Keep your money, idiot. I don't know. I don't know. But I always said this is a hobby, and this is just something I do for fun because I really enjoy talking to people. I love learning about people's content. Um, the thing is about when it comes to gardening and lifestyle and prepper and like homesteading type videos, all of that smudges together into this one big master community. It,
Yeah.
it ranges from people over here living in bomb shelters and tents in the wood all the way through to people over here who are living in a multi-million-dollar estate and have an aquaponics thing in their backyard. The breadth of the community is amazing. And all over the world, I think it is raining.
Not all
Okay.
over the world.
Um, I've got I've got something like 96 countries represented. You have to have a pretty good section. I mean, I got like 2% in France. I don't think I've ever said a French word that wasn't an actual curse word. That's the French I speak. We got GLM False Prophet. Good to see you. Dennis and X showed up. He's the opinion smasher. He doesn't allow opinions when he's hosting. I'm just picking on him. He's a good guy. He seems to be sweet enough anyway. I've let him on my panel, so he can't be too bad, right? I'm trying to convince the Smoking Otter to do something on YouTube. He's got like 5 videos or so. I'm like, just film the very next thing you see that makes you go, "What the hell is that?" When you look out the window and you're like, "What in the?" Just grab your phone and turn it on before you walk out the door and find out, and that'll be a great start.
Yeah, I mean, the other day I was sitting in here and there was a cat that popped up in the doorway, and I just said, meow, 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 and grabbed my phone, and then I put it on YouTube, and it got like 1.6 thousand views, and I promise, I mean, it was pranking the cat, but it wasn't hilarious. It was just, meowing at a cat.
Yeah,
But I
it worked.
filmed it and put it up, and that's what happened.
It's whatever works, and that's what I've been trying to get across to people. Like, um, they think about, oh, this would be a really cool video, but then they don't do that video, or they film the video and they don't edit the video, or they film the video and edit the video and then don't like how it looks and don't put it up. But like you said, some of the things that I've done that I was like, well, it's a video, upload. Those things went out and did gangbusters. And then some of them that I put my heart and soul into and took time out of my life to make happen just sat in squalor in their 12 or 14 views. And I'm like, oh. So I became kind of jaded on the filming aspect of it and realized that people are more interested in how you do a thing or what you do in a circumstance or how you respond to people. It's not what you're doing, what you're filming, but you doing it.
That's right, the smoking auditor, that's right.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. YouTube was based entirely on cat videos at one time. The entire ecosystem of YouTube was nothing but cat videos and two llamas. So just go film something. If you don't know what to film, film the very next thing you don't know if you should film it. You don't have to upload it
Dark stuff. I think he means the stuff that happens in the daytime.
for the most part. I mean, there are other sites that are just as equivalently valid as YouTube. I'm just saying, choose your audience. Choose your subject matter and go for it. Uh, no one ever succeeded by not trying, and most people fail a few times before they succeed. So
That's true.
you can't sell someone short for having failed at a thing that they've only tried once. Another thing, ignorance is a very misused word. It does not mean what most people seem to think it means. Ignorance is merely a lack of knowledge, and there is nothing shameful in a lack of knowledge unless you are willfully ignorant. That's different. To be willfully ignorant is akin to hubris. I don't need to know that because I'm me. I don't understand it, but okay. I know some people like that. They just don't want to know because they don't want to think about it. And okay, fine. Okay, all right. I like thinking. I like having conversations. I like exploring the other thoughts that people have. Do you do any water collecting at all, or does it rain too much there already?
We have rain barrels and that kind of thing, and we have water catchment systems. But I don't record them because everybody's got them, you know. So I just, they might show up in like the videos, but it's not because I'm featuring them. I think we did one feature where we showed how we get pressure to the water hose and that kind of thing with the submersible pump. But
Right.
that's about it.
Okay. Because around here, I live on like the very edge of like one of the largest swamps on the East Coast. Water is not one of those things we go looking for. It's something we canal away. Uh, I live on the very southern tip of a cloud forest. Not quite a rainforest, not quite a plain, not quite a mountain. it's
You must
we
have
call it.
coming out the back end.
It's it's ridiculous. So where I grew up, if you went out with a set of post hole diggers and you dug more than a foot deep, it would fill up with water in a couple of hours. And for the most part, it's drinkable. I mean, you kind of got to pick your spots, right? But is that a big problem out there? Finding enough water for gardening and stuff?
Well, finding rain, yes, but there's a creek that runs the back end of the property, and
Uh,
we have rights because we live in Arkansas, and the state says that if you back up your property to a water source,
yeah, you have access to that water.
the problem is there's 17 acres of soybean fields that I would have to run a pipe through, and so that's just that's not going to happen. So I
It's
didn't want
not feasible.
yeah, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So we use water catchment almost full time.
Right.
And another issue with not having rain, so we save our water for other stuff. Now we could have it trucked in or something like that, but I'd rather have the free stuff. So yeah, we don't even have a well right now out there. We are literally using water catchment and water catchment only.
Wow. Wow. I built a couple of off-grid cabins where people function on entirely collected rain. And when I say cabins, some of these cabins might have been like the size of large garages,
Yeah.
like you'd take your car to in a city, like 5, 10 bay garages. So it's not actually a cabin; it's a big metal building in the middle of the freaking woods that don't have no electricity that's not generated on site. And so one of the things we would do if we were building one of these types of lodges is we would get like the leaf deflector gutters and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
all the gutters went to a series of catchment barrels.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes you can get the big food grade bulk IBCs. Those
Yeah,
work real well. You can stack 3 or 4 or 5 of them up almost as high as the eaves and just run it in at the top and have it siphon its way down.
that's actually what
Uh,
we're working up to. We've got one of those right now, but in order to actually, have more, stuff out there like livestock, we're gonna have way more than that.
right. Um, we're going to have a conversation offline. Water catchments was one of the things. Well, it wasn't water catchments. It was reclamation of mined areas and water filtration and cleaning from those areas
Yeah.
was one of the jobs that I did for fucking 2 years. And the idea is that you look at the circumstance and try to slow the water down as much as possible while redirecting it as levelly as possible. So while you do swales and stuff like that, the point is for the swales to actually be almost level with the ground and the water to be almost a hair below the ground, right?
Yeah.
The idea is to slow it down and percolate it and let it cleanse itself through the soil and let the plants do what they do and not let it just run out, right? And when you're trying to deal with a water catchment type system, that is difficult to pull off without somehow contaminating the water in some way.
Mhm. And it doesn't help, there's also crop dusters just a mile over, and they turn around where we are, and they're still dropping off the little granules and whatnot that's coming out
Right.
of. Yeah.
Yeah. That's no bueno. But it can be done. It's been done before with less technology and effort and no Google. So between YouTube and Google, it should be doable, and it should be doable in a non-destructive manner to your pocketbook.
Mhm.
You just have to put in the effort. That's really cool, by the way. I really dig that. How deep is the water table down there? Do you know?
We can actually go. I think it's 7 inches down, and there's water. I mean, the creek's right there, and it goes off
Okay.
the Langell River, which comes off the White and St. Francis. They join in different areas down there, but we're in the river bottoms, and it always comes right down behind
Okay.
the property and then lines up the side.
So, do you just have something against sinking a well, or just haven't gotten to that yet, or trying to
We
avoid
haven't
it?
got to that yet because we were spending all our money trying to stockpile lumber. And as you know, you have to be pretty much a millionaire at this
Yes,
point.
ma'am.
I don't
Ladies and
want to
gentlemen,
spend, $1 million for a house that's only worth 100,000.
right? Ladies and gentlemen, I just put $40,000 on top of my house. 40 grand, 40 large. For those of you who don't speak gangster, you know that was a roof, just a roof. It wasn't gutters or facial and none of that stuff. Just a roof,
How much you
metal,
how much
wood.
you pay for a facial?
Well, I might go over 12% for that one. But as you can see, I have absolutely creamy, smooth skin. It's not by accident. What I'm talking about is soffit and fittings under the gutters, the facial boards. It's called fascia. It's just a piece of 1x painted and edged to make the house look like the edge of a house instead of a rafter. Boxing, soffit. It's called all kinds of stuff, but technically in the manual, it's called a fascia. So, a fascia board.
No comment.
I wasn't really expecting one. And I don't blame you. You ought to hear what we call a whacker packer, but I digress. Um,
Mm.
how long have you been gardening in the location you're filming currently?
Um, 2.5, 3 years, about pretty much. Let's see. No, the one that we're in now is 2 years, and
2
then
years.
we were in Tennessee before that.
Absolutely fantastic. Do you have any of your personal record breaking uh, produce? Have you ever grown like a giant pumpkin or a giant watermelon or anything?
Um, we've grown a lot of huge cat face Arkansas Traveler tomatoes, but I mean, 6 inches, 7 inches, bigger than your hand.
Yeah.
But I mean, they were just because we forgot them when we were harvesting. It wasn't because we were trying.
That's how it happens, though. I was
Yeah.
telling you before the show started. We did my mother actually had some. We call them coxcombs. I think you call them rooster's combs.
I call
These
them
are
homes because some people find
might have an opinion. Well, it's my show. They're coxcombs. Anyway, so I think that's what they are in the book. But anyway, um, she planted some with some Indian paintbrushes, which are like mini coxcombs, like yay big. And we had this one for no explicable reason grow 12 or 14 foot tall and have a comb on top of it that weighed 4 pounds dry.
dang.
We had to tie it up to the to like the edge of the soffit of the house. It was stark raving barmy. We kept it mounted on the wall for like 5 years for the longest time because I mean people would walk in and be like, "What is that?" That's a coxcomb. Impossible, gargantuan.
That sounds awesome though. But
It was.
in Georgia at the time, that's
I've lived in Georgia all my life.
for gardening. I wish when we lived in Georgia we'd have done that, but I tried to plant strawberries and we had chipmunks and the chipmunks would eat them, and so we weren't allowed to shoot them because we had an
Uh,
acre. So yeah,
were
I
you,
just gave up.
were you north or south of Atlanta?
I was in Byron, just outside
Okay,
Wisconsin.
right. All right. Yeah, no, you can grow strawberries there, but you have to use a mildewcide to keep the little spots from popping up on the leaves, or they'll just disappear. I can't grow strawberries here because even with the mildewcide, it's just too humid. It's rained twice today.
That's what I heard.
I mean, it's like another thing. That whole spraying an apple tree thing that you see people doing, they have all these beautiful rains too much. Can't do it. You spray, it works, but it washes off very next 10 rains, and then it's back to making mutant leaves and apples again. That's great. Oh, Wolfie, welcome to my show.
I
Yeah,
used to
fancy.
live across the street from one of those USDA tree farms. The only one that was right off of exit 149 going down 75. But anyway, yeah, we lived right across the street from it, and we had a hot tub, and we couldn't keep the pH right in that hot tub for crap. Every time, I mean, they sprayed over there all the time, and our hot tub stuck it right in.
Yep. Yeah, I have an aquaponics system in my backyard, and I'm supposed to be checking the pH. I gave up completely because it swings so wildly from rain to not rain. A little bit of rain, and suddenly I've got to try to add something to lower the pH, and not enough rain, and I'm trying to add something to balance it. I finally just stopped, and everything grows much better now, which
Yeah.
I only have peppermint in it.
Hot tub.
I have a hot tub.
That's what I heard.
Flex. Flex. I'm sorry. It's neat, I guess. My wife loves it. I don't know.
Oh, hey, Walter. How you doing?
It's hot water. That's all. Which one is Walter? Where are we at? Oh, Walter. Hey, bud. Good to see you, brother. He's been breezing through my channel since the very beginning. He pops in and pops out all the time. It's fantastic. I love it. Hey, Boa. He's got another channel. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. All right, so you've met a bunch of YouTubers. You went out and did meetups.
Oh yes, I met some wonderful people.
Okay, so what is your
Out of those.
I don't want to say favorite because that would be the wrong implication. You get what I'm saying? What do you remember most fondly about the meetups?
Besides the drunkenness and the, I would probably say it's the camaraderie because everybody's kind of nervous. You're not really sure what to expect. some people, you don't see them at all. You see the garden or the car or whatever it is. You never see them. So
Right.
you know everything about them, and you can't recognize them in a lineup. So
Exactly.
you got all the jitters of like a blind date, and will this person accept me, or and then once you realize everybody's just as nervous as you, then it's all family, instant family, because you've been connecting for so long.
That's cool. I can't wait. I'm plumb excited about the whole concept. Has that ended? No, she's still alive. That's fine. Okay. Um, Apparently, someone is trying to get in touch with me. Let's see what they have to say. Nope, that's just Facebook telling me crap. Screw those guys. They suck anyway. Um,
Facebook loves
you Facebook wants all my data.
you. Mingled in with theirs. Facebook loves you.
Sure.
On,
Governed me harder, Daddy. You want to punish me for thought crimes? But I was just thinking alone in my room and talking to myself on my Facebook wall. That is all.
yeah.
You did a show. I'm proud of you. You did good. Yeah, you're done. You did a show. You did real good.
Are you talking to the mirror?
I'm
Or?
talking to you.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Uh, what we generally do at this point, I do a little play out and stuff. But since none of that crap's working, I'm just going to try to skip it because I'm not going to boggle my head over it. So what I'm going to do is swap the. Yeah, I got to do this thing. It's we drop the link in the chat if that works. Actually, I think so.
You know what's really funny? You just said, now that the party's over, we're going to do the swap. I've heard that before.
Oh Lord! Everybody, make sure you get the right keys out of the bowl, and make sure you don't go to the upside down pineapple. Always the side ones. No upside down ones. Do you trust Sasquatch on this? Sideways pineapple acceptable. Upside down might not like what you find in there. But hey, to each his own. It might be just up your alley. You never know. Do you know about the pineapple code? Do you know about the pineapple code?
Oh, I know more than you think.
Oh my lord. Okay. All right. So we got the link dropped. Is it pinned? Did it pin? Did it work? Let's see what the answers to the poll was. In poll. Content consumer. Thank you for consuming my content. I appreciate you. Okay, so 66% of people garden and 33% do not. That's about right, actually, because different people have different. They consider this to be a hobby, but that's actual gardening.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've got an aunt has plants all over her house. She doesn't garden.
Yeah.
She has potted plants, right? Whereas my mom would have plants all over her house, and they may or may not be in a pot. Like that woman could grow concrete if you painted it green. She was amazing. Um, I'm not
Oh.
joking. She was amazing. Yeah, we could try to get the monkeypox, but why? I don't know. Yeah, okay. I suspect I know who that is, but I'm not positive for monkeypox or anything else for that matter. Um, Apparently, middle of the day isn't a great time for streaming. At least for my crowd. I usually have 10 or 12 folks running around. We got up to 9 at one point, which isn't bad. That's good. But the thing is according to the analytics I'm running over here, that was different people coming in and leaving. So it wasn't actually like 9 people concurrently. It was like 4 people concurrently, and everybody else was just shuffling in and out. I don't know. It's weird. It looks really weird on the graph over there. Really weird. I don't know. So, what would you like to do with the rest of your time? We have another hour to kill. If you want to stick around, you can dip out now, and I'll speak aimlessly into the void for a little while.
Aimlessly into the void. Well,
Or
I
you,
mean, we could all like try to get monkeypox. How many
well,
of it? How many of us are in here again?
7. It's not going to work. We need definitely have to invite Fiona Rawls if it's a monkeypox party. That's just how that's going to go. She can do the flame dancing. Yeah, it's actually really cool. If y'all haven't checked out Fiona Rawls, go check it out. Uh, she's a activist, cop watcher, activist. She activates on everything. It's great. I mean, when you know what you're getting when you're dealing with her, that she's going to activate immediately,
Thank you.
it's easier to deal with, ma'am.
I used to get in trouble all the time for my sense of humor. I do at
Oh,
work.
I am probably currently in trouble for my sense of humor. First of all, I tend to be like lightsaber activated. Yeah, pretty much. Definitely some hardwood floors in that remodel. That's all I'm saying. Much love, was truth. Welcome to the show, brother. Content consumer. That's
Smoking
excellent.
auditor, I've actually had the privilege of holding the camera at a chicken pox party. If you ever go to Nashville, there's a dungeon called the Mark, and they have something called the Siege, and it's all guys. I'll leave that alone.
All right, so that's for after dark. After dark, I suppose. after
Just saying.
that sounds like I might want to get an address, maybe a date. I live in a real small town. Ain't a whole lot of pineapples around here, baby.
Well, you know, the Mark has a sister dungeon that's in Atlanta.
Great. Like I said, we'll do that in the after party, and it might be coming up here in a few minutes. Suddenly, I'm intrigued. So,
And this is tomato, and this is a tomato. We'll just go back to gardening.
gardening. Okay, gardening, prepping. How far do you go into the whole prepper sphere? I mean, if you're doing water catchments and rain collection and home gardening, then I would assume that you go a little further into it in a
I go a
casual.
lot further into it. There's a lot I don't show on the channel because I'm also in a family group, and by family group, some of them aren't blood related. They're just people who live in the area. So, you know, we've already got like a little SHTF kind of plan where we're gonna, you know, block off these certain areas. We have little shelters in the woods that we, you know, kind of have interconnecting paths and things like that. But I collect, you know, food and supplies for, well, it was
Jeff.
12 people, and now it's about 20 something. And, you know, the livestock that we have that I don't show is because we all own it together, and I don't want to take credit for something somebody else is doing too. You know, I just want
Sure.
to be honest. So it's like even down to raising rabbits and things like that. And I want to say dogs, and that's pretty disgusting, but I've already said, you know, I've got my dogs and they're pets, and that's nice and good. But I'm not about to get some lanky Great Dane or some tiny little Chihuahua with no meat on him in case it comes down to that. These are dual purpose pets. Like, oh Lord, she's gonna eat her dog, but I'd rather eat them than somebody else. So
Hey, truth. Welcome to the show, brother.
yeah,
Uh,
I go a little deeper into prepping than some people, but it's because I feel like, you know, even when it just ices over out where we live, you can get into a store, you're just not gonna get there.
yeah.
So we kind of have to have our own thing already set up and ready to go in case, you know, there's a 3, 4, 5 month window or longer. So right
Hmm.
now we've got about 2 years worth of supplies for 22 people. Um,
Right.
I would love to make that a little bit broader because, you know, as long as we go on YouTube, we meet more and more people who may not have the space, may not have the financial ability to be able to
Right.
support food. Some people are living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, I'm blessed to not be doing that, but there are people that we've started collecting things for also.
Right. Well, that's one thing about the whole rural lifestyle. People talk about how antisocial rural people are. That's not true. It's just that if you're from a city and you alienate someone, there's another person right next to them that can take their place that's just as good as better. But when you're in a rural environment, the people that you run into are more likely the same people every day.
Yeah.
So if you alienate a person, even accidentally, that is something you're going to have to face in the future, and you'll face it through scarcity, through people not helping you do things and not letting you do, giving you that little help that people need sometimes. And so, growing up out there in the middle of that swamp with my neighbors 4 miles away, the nearest store 8 miles away, the nearest town 15 miles away, and you have to go 12 miles to get out of the swamp to get to the town. So, right. And when somebody's well goes dead, you dig around in the shed until you find the parts needed to fix the pump or fix the
Right.
foot valve, or sit down with some leather and some rivets and make a new foot valve that'll work till Tuesday. We can hitch the wagons and get back into town. you know till the next paycheck or the next whatever, until you can get that piece. Um, and it goes with maintenance of anything. I mean, a vehicle, if something goes wrong on a vehicle, you can't just run out and go buy the part immediately. You either have to ruin the vehicle trying to make do, or learn to do enough with the vehicle that it doesn't ruin it. You know.
Or not get super weird vehicles like 69 El Caminos that nobody else has, so you can't get parts.
Oh, I can get parts. They come off of every single vehicle between 1974 and 1956 or so. All of your front ends and everything, all those parts are mostly interchangeable with a few exceptions. It's the skin, the body of the car that's hard to actually find in that case. But yeah, I'm probably fixing to create a monstrosity out of it, and everyone's going to hate me because it's a full Super Sport clone. It's just not really a Super Sport, and I want to go camping.
So you're just gonna aggravate the connoisseurs.
Oh yeah, hell yeah! Suddenly, I'm looking up at this a lot better. I'm just hoping the mechanic doesn't just slap me and close the door when I tell him what I want to do. Because consider this: these cars were originally not intended to be hot rods; they were intended to be ranch hands.
Mhm.
They were for the people who really wanted a car but really needed a truck. And they went through a few variations on body styles, but the 69 was the last of the big rear end wagons as far as the chassis is concerned. So that thing is built like a brick shithouse back there. It's solid. Well, the chassis that it's on has the full tow package, rear sway bar, the whole nine, the differential, was it called? Equalization hitch or whatever. Anyway, it's got all that shit on it. So I figured it'd be okay for towing. Started doing a little research. That 396 with that TH400, probably not the best idea without an overdrive. And certainly not going to be economical. We're talking like 9 miles to the gallon here. 9 gallons to the mile, perhaps. It's a drag racer.
Just paint yellow, put a teardrop on, and go camping.
At 9 miles to the gallon.
3 states away.
Probably closer by at that price. I better take a camper. I'll be sleeping there when I get there. For sure. Oh, yeah. That's rich. That's good shit. Hey, Truth, hop up. What you doing? Oh, Truth putting in work. He over dropping links and stuff. Have you checked him out at all? I caught him, I guess, a couple of months after he started his channel, and we got to talking, and like, I don't remember, it was right before he blew up. He went from like 300 subs to 7,000 in 2 months or something like that. Just like, but he runs around, sneaks up on cops and films them, which seems a little dangerous to me. I find that I'm not gonna sneak up on him like he does. He's like the cop watching ninja or something. I don't know what to do with it. Well, if ain't nobody gonna come up here and talk to us, we're just gonna go about our business like a normal day. I mean, I'm sure she's got garden stuff she could go do, and I got a whole wife in there I can talk to.
When I leave here, I have an appointment probably in about half an hour or so with somebody that I edit dissertations with. It's another video conference, but it's in another building. So, because I do that on the side also. Everybody's got to have, side hustle.
Oh yeah, I don't. I don't know. I do a little bit of everything. Like somebody might show up and be like, "My roof's leaking." I could grab a little wood and go over there and stop that. Repair whatever I can. A little wood, or maybe a big wood, a medium-sized wood.
The leak. I thought we were talking about monkeypox later on tonight.
We can if you wish. We could totally go into that right now. I mean, these people don't want to talk to us anymore. I mean, obviously, they're just sitting over there chatting amongst themselves. I'm sure we can come up with a much better conversation as soon as YouTube goes away. Hey, I had Fiona Rawls over here twerking in the background. That happened. That's real. I got it on film in 4K. You could even go see it on my channel if you want to. Oh boy. I don't know what else to tell you. I generally give it 15, 20 minutes. If ain't nobody popped up, we leave YouTube because they suck, basically.
I believe he's a jack of all trades too, smoking auditor. He's being
I'm not great at any particular thing. If I had to choose one thing that I was like expert at, I would say logistics. I can plan things like no one's business. Like that dude in the A-Team, the one who's like, I love how a good plan comes together. I'm that asshole standing in the corner that's doing like this as everything's going to hell, going now. Then that happens, then that happens, then that happens, and I move this, and it works perfectly. I don't know why. I handle details. Details. If you deal with the tiny details, there's no problems on the other end because the details were taken care of. That's the best way to handle it. And so that's my real strong suit. It applies to almost anything in life. If you want to bake a cake, do you go out and get a bucket of dirt? No. You go and you get a recipe and you make sure you get all the details right and you have a beautiful cake. Usually. You know. And just like with gardening, it's as much science as it is art. You can be an excellent producer and a terrible gardener. Hey, we got people.
May you live as long as you wish, and love as long as you live.